Hello, Morris class. It's Miss Baig here, and welcome to your Thursday English lesson. Today is the 4th of February 2021, and we are going to be continuing with our learning objective, which is can I finish writing instructions how to wash your hair in space? Fantastic. So, what you are going to be doing, as always, is please go and watch Mrs. Gabella's text map and the video of our lovely astronaut explain the process of washing her hair in space before we begin this lesson. When you come back, you will need your good listening ears, good magnet eyes, something to write with, and something to write on. Okay. Oh, not something to write on. Let's go back. You will need your instructions, specifically this gap, because we are going to be filling that part in today. So off you go and grab those things, watch the videos, and when you come back, we'll begin. Okie dokie. So in yesterday's lesson, we completed writing the steps on how to wash your hair in space. So we did the final 2 steps yesterday. In this lesson, we are going to be writing the introductory paragraph. So this bit, have you ever? We are going to focus on including a rhetorical question. A rhetorical question. So a rhetorical question is a question that you write in your writing that doesn't necessarily need an answer. Okay? So after this, we are going to complete our instructions by including a top tip at the end. But first, we are going to write the introductory paragraph and then the top tip together. Now, I'm going to explain before I model the writing, I'm going to explain what challenge 1 children are doing. So challenge 1, your job is you are going to be completing the top tip. While you are completing the top tip, you are going to make sure that you have the correct punctuation, which is, okay, in front of you, you have a sentence. It says, make sure your towel is, and there's a blank. On the side, you have 2 words. You have this one, and you have this one. Your job is to choose the right word and complete your sentence with the correct punctuation. Okay, and remember to title top tip at the top. Okie dokie. Now, as always, you can magpie my ideas and my writing, but I would like you to try and use your own adverbs, own adjectives when you are doing your own writing, okay? But if you are really stuck and you can't think of any additional adverbs or adjectives, then please feel free to magpie Miss Baig's ideas. Okie dokie, let's begin. Stop. Oh, new share. It's new share. Let's put this here. And then advanced camera. Camera ready? Yes, camera ready. Okay, I just need to make myself a little smaller though. So hang on. There we go. In the corner. Off you go, Miss Baig, in the corner. And then I'm going to put this up here, I think. Perfect. Okay, so our introductory paragraph doesn't need a title or a heading at the top because we've got how to wash your hair in space. Now, if you followed the instructions and you left a space, let's focus this because the numbers are a bit blurry. Nope, wrong way, wrong way, wrong way. Is that a bit better? Perfect. Right. So if you followed the instructions and you left 7 lines, then we are going to be writing our introductory paragraph within this gap here. So it's underneath the title and it's on top of our equipment list, what you need. Okay, let's begin. So our introductory paragraph, remember, it contains rhetorical questions. So questions that don't necessarily need to be answered. It's like a persuasive technique. Okay, let's begin. Now I'm going to angle it this way. Oops, oopsie daisies, what's going on? Right, so, and I've got my writing here. Let's begin. Have you ever wanted to know how to wash your hair in Maris class? Well done, space. Now, this first line here, have you ever wanted to know how to wash your hair in space with a question mark? It is asking a question, but, oh, my V is not very clear there, but it's a rhetorical question. It doesn't need to be answered by the reader, okay? So, did you know that in space, there is zero gravity, comma, which means, what does that mean? If there's zero, well, what does that mean? If there's zero gravity in space, that's irrelevant. It is not irrelevant. It's very important when you're washing your hair in space because you can't just open a tap, put your hair underneath, give it a wash, because all of the water drops will be flying everywhere. Not flying, floating everywhere. I always say flying, floating everywhere. So, did you know that in space there is zero gravity, which means it makes it, I'm going to say, I want to say difficult, but I don't want to just say difficult. I want to describe it. I want to say extremely difficult to do what, Morris class? To wash your hair. Oh. Now, it's another rhetorical question because it's asking, did you know? So it's asking a question, but it's a rhetorical question. The reader does not have to provide an answer. Okay. Now, I need to move this a bit down. Okay, I've only got 2 more lines left, so I need to do some small writing. If, what's my sentence? If you are lucky enough to go to space, so if you are lucky enough to go to space, so if you are lucky enough to go to space, comma, you will need to read on to find out how. Full stop. So I'm drawing my reader in. I'm drawing him or her in. I'm drawing the reader in. I'm saying, keep reading on. Let's read my introductory paragraph all together. Have you ever wanted to know how to wash your hair in space? Did you know that in space there is zero gravity, which means it makes it extremely difficult to wash your hair? If you are lucky enough to go to space, you will need to read on to find out how. And then it goes on to what you need. What you need is a bag of warm water, shampoo, a towel, and a comb. Next, we have steps to be taken. First, squirt warm water carefully onto your scalp and wet all your hair. Then sensibly squeeze a small amount of shampoo onto your onto your scalp. Gently massage into your hair. And then on this page, oh dear, right. On this page, we have my next 2 steps. Next, take your comb and softly comb out all of your tangles. Finally, take the towel and dry your hair thoroughly. Okay, so I've done my steps to success. Now I'm going to do what do we need to do right at the end? Fantastic, my top tip. I'm going to write top tip here. Top tip. And I'm going to do my semicolons. Okay, what I'm going to do, Morris class, before we move on to top tip, I'm just going to change the page back in case some of you were not writing with me as I went along. And I'm just going to pause the screen here if you need to have a look at the introductory paragraph, okay? So pause it here, and then when you unpause, we will move on to top tip. So take your time, and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, Morris class, we are now going to move on to our top tip right at the end of our instructions. So our top tip at the end is going to be focus, 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 focused. Right. Now, our top tip is going to be remember, because remember, we need to give them a tip on how to successfully complete all of the steps to wash your hair. Remember to, oh my goodness me, I've written takey. Oh, that's not a word. Take your time. Remember to take your time whilst, if you need to watch the spelling for whilst, it's whilst washing your hair, comma, so you do not offend the aliens with your greasy. Now, greasy, I'm going to use an expanded noun phrase. So I'm going to use 2 adjectives and 1 noun to describe for the noun hair. So I was going to write greasy hair, but I think we can do an expanded noun phrase. So let's think of another adjective together. To add to greasy, I'm going to say greasy, smelly hair. There we go. Smelly hair. And I'm going to put a exclamation mark at the end. Let's read our top tip together. Top tip. Remember to take your time whilst washing your hair, comma, so you do not offend the aliens with your greasy, smelly hair. Okay, Morris class. Remember, you can magpie some of my ideas. So instead of greasy and smelly, you can use your own adjectives, or you can even do a magical noun phrase and put 3 adjectives with the noun hair. Okay, the noun has to stay the same because the instructions are how to wash your hair. Okay, I'll pause the video here, pause the screen here if you would just like to take a few ideas from the top tip. So pause the video here, I'll give you a few seconds. Okie dokie, Morris class, let's stop sharing and we're back on full screen. So well done for completing your writing. So now let's see from the beginning. We have our we have our title. We have our introductory paragraph. We have our equipment list of what you need. We then have our steps to be taken, which then go on to the next page. And then right at the end, we have our top tip. Well done, Morris class. Thank you so much for completing your instructions with me. You can now upload your instructions, how to wash your hair, onto Tapestry for Miss Baig to see. Okay, Morris. Please remember, you can magpie some ideas, but I would like you to try and use your own adverbs and adjectives. If you can't think of any, then that's absolutely fine. Challenge 1, children. I will be looking forward to also seeing your sentences with the correct punctuation on Tapestry as well. Take care for now, Maris, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.